If you're reading this at some ugly hour, 2 a.m., wide awake, everyone else in the house asleep, your body isn't broken. It's doing a job. A job so old it kept your ancestors alive back when nodding off at the wrong moment meant getting dragged into the dark. You've been told bad sleep is a problem, a disorder, something to fix with a pill. But the worst sleeper you know, the teenager buzzing at midnight, the grandparent up at 4 for no reason, isn't failing at sleep. They're running the oldest shift schedule on Earth. And here's the strange part. Nobody assigned it. Nobody ever posted a guard. So how did the tribe stay watched all night, every night, for 200,000 years, with no one in charge of it? This was the strangest job Ogg's tribe ever had. How a pack of bad sleepers kept everybody alive. Explained. Go back 100,000 years and picture the tribe at night. No walls, no doors, no lights. Just a fire, a circle of sleeping cavemen, and a whole jungle out there in the black that would very much like to eat them. Sleep is the problem. Sleep has always been the problem. You spend a third of your life switched off, blind, deaf, flat on your back, useless. For most animals, that's a death sentence with a delay on it. A lion doesn't knock. It arrives, finds you asleep, and that's the end of your entire family line. So every sleeping tribe on Earth ran into the same question: who stays awake? The obvious answer is the one every movie gives you. You post a guard. One caveman sits by the fire with a spear while the rest sleep, and you swap him out partway through. A night watch. Simple. Except it isn't simple at all. Think about actually running that. Who takes the worst slot, the dead middle of the night? Who wakes the next guy, and what happens the night he's exhausted and just doesn't? One bored, sleepy volunteer nodding off against a rock is the thinnest possible wall between your tribe and everything with teeth. You'd be betting your grandchildren's lives on that guy staying awake every single night forever. You wouldn't take that bet, neither did evolution. Back in the 1960s, a sleep researcher named Frederick Snyder stared at this exact puzzle. Animals sleeping in groups, out in the open, somehow never getting wiped out in the dark. And he had a hunch. What if the group itself does the watching? Not one assigned guard, but the whole tribe, taking turns without ever deciding to. He called it the sentinel idea. A sentinel is just a lookout. And for 50 years it stayed a hunch, because nobody had ever sat and watched a real tribe sleep, all night, to check. Then, somebody did. Meet David Samson. He's an evolutionary anthropologist, and a while back he went hunting for the answer to a question about your sleep that nobody had ever properly tested. To find it, he had to go to one of the last places on Earth where people still live the way the whole tribe once did. In northern Tanzania, out near a big salt lake, live the Hadza. They hunt and gather their food, the same as humans did for hundreds of thousands of years before anyone planted a seed. They live in groups of 20 or 30, and at night they do exactly what your ancestors did every night of their lives. They sleep outside, together, in the open, next to the fire, with nothing between them and the dark. So Samson strapped little motion trackers on their wrists, the kind that can tell whether you're asleep or awake. And he watched, not for one night, but for 20. 20 straight nights of quietly recording, minute by minute, when every single person in the group was asleep and when they were awake. Then he added it all up, and he found a number that should stop you cold. Across those 20 nights, hundreds of hours of the whole tribe sleeping in the open, how long was every single person asleep at the same moment? It came to 18 minutes, not 18 hours a night. 18 minutes total, across the entire 3 weeks. The rest of the time, all night, every night, somebody was awake. On average, in the dead middle of the night, about 8 people were up. The tribe was never once fully undefended. Nearly 100% of the time, at least one pair of eyes was open in the dark. And here's the reveal, the part that flips the whole thing over. Samson checked the schedule. Nobody was running one. No guard, no rota, no short straw. Not one person in that camp had volunteered to stay up. The tribe was watched all night long, and not a single person was doing it on purpose. So what was doing it? Your body clock. That's what. Every human runs on an internal timer that decides when you get sleepy and when you snap awake. And Samson found the strange thing about that timer. It's set differently for different people, and it tracks almost perfectly with one thing: your age. The young ones are the night owls. Teenagers, people in their 20s, their clocks run late. They're wired to still be up, restless, wide awake hours after the older folks have crashed. Sound like anyone you've had to drag out of bed at noon? Researchers think that's not laziness and not a phase. That's the late shift, clocking in. The old ones are the mirror image. As you age, your clock creeps earlier. Older people fall asleep early, then wake in the pitch dark, 4 in the morning, and can't get back down. We file that under medical complaint. Grandpa's up before the birds again. Poor guy. Something must be wrong with him. There's likely nothing wrong with Grandpa. Grandpa is the dawn shift, and he's been the dawn shift for a very long time. Line them all up, and the schedule builds itself. The night owls cover the front half of the night. The light-sleeping elders take the early hours. And everybody, at every age, surfaces a few times a night without even remembering it. Little flickers of awareness scattered across every sleeping body around the fire. Nobody plans a second of it. The clocks just don't match. And the mismatch is the point. That was the job. The strangest, most important job the tribe ever had. It wasn't holding a spear, it was being a bad sleeper. The insomniac, the night owl, the grandmother up before dawn. Evolution didn't fail to fix them. Evolution built them. The tribe where everyone slept perfectly, all at once, all the way through. That tribe got eaten. The one that survived long enough to become you was full of people whose sleep was gloriously, protectively broken. And you can climb to the top of your own family tree and watch it happen. Picture your great-great however many greats grandmother, asleep by a fire under stars that didn't have names yet. She wakes at some black hour for no reason she could have told you. And in that pointless feeling moment of being awake, her open eyes are the only thing standing between her sleeping children and the jungle. She kept the watch without ever knowing she was keeping it. Then she passed the clock that woke her straight down the line. To you. Look at your own sleep tonight. Really look at it. Maybe you're the one who can't drop off till the small hours, lying there annoyed at yourself while the whole house breathes slow around you. Maybe you wake at 3 a.m. into total quiet and feel like the only person left alive. Maybe you've started surfacing at 4 in a way you never did at 20, and you've begun to wonder what's going wrong with you. Nothing is going wrong with you. You're standing a post. The exact hour your body hauls you awake feels like a glitch, a malfunction, a thing to medicate into silence. It's the hour some ancestor of yours was needed on watch. Your worst nights are an inheritance. That restless brain at 2 a.m. isn't broken machinery. It's a 200,000-year-old nudge that says, your turn to watch. You just don't have anything left to guard against, so it feels like nothing. It was never nothing. So tonight, when the house goes dark and everyone you love finally goes under, and you're still lying there wide awake with a mind that won't switch off, picture the fire. Picture the ring of sleeping cavemen. Picture the black jungle just past the edge of the light. And picture yourself sitting up in the middle of it, the one set of open eyes, quietly holding the line for everybody else until the sky turns gray. That was never a disorder. That was a duty. Every time you lie awake at an hour that makes no sense, you're doing what your tribe did for longer than we've had words for it. Keeping watch so the people around you can rest. 100,000 years of practice. Your body still shows up for the shift. And if it's gone past broken to genuinely wrecked, nodding off at the wheel, jolting awake gasping for air, the tribe member you reach for is a doctor. Same fire, different watch. This is satire about fictional cavemen in a make-believe jungle. Please do not sue Og. If you're one of the tribe's night owls, drop the exact hour your brain refuses to shut off down in the comments. Let's see who's got tonight's watch.